Hey there, it's Cora Louise, and this is my second video in my Creature Week challenge. Today I will be designing some creatures based on tea and coffee. Like I said in the video yesterday, if you didn't see yesterday's, I created creature designs that were made from rock, but I mentioned in that video that for these first couple of videos I haven't recorded the initial sketching of the designs because I hadn't planned on putting any of this on YouTube. So this is going straight into the line work again. I thought today I could talk a little about my thought process behind the designs and the background of the characters, and also answer a couple questions from the Q&A I did on Instagram. Specifically thinking of talking about building a following on Instagram because I had a lot of questions about that, and I always do. So yeah, let's get into it. My idea was quite simple for these designs. I was inspired slightly by creatures that live in their shells, like crabs. And so the liquids in these images are really the creatures, and their mugs and their cups are their shells that they carry around with them. And except for that, there wasn't much more of a background. I just saw some of these in my head and I just wanted to get them out onto the page. My main focus for the characters in this image was to get their personalities across a little, using colour, using shape, representing the kind of drink that they are, if it's a kind of tea or a coffee. And I had a lot of fun doing this. I touched on shapes a little bit yesterday, and using shape and character design. That's so important for getting across someone's personality before they even move or before they speak. Different shapes, whether it be squares or rounded shapes, elongated, short, sharp shapes, each one of them represents a different kind of personality. So for example, my coffee creature sat in the middle. Maybe it's because I don't like coffee, but I wanted them to be unapproachable, a little mean, maybe grumpy, and so I really kept to quite a stocky square shape that represents that kind of indentable, intimidating personality that I wanted him to have. The colour of the coffee really worked well with me for that as well. The natural, very dark colour really represented his personality, and finally I had his pose turned slightly away from us to really keep with that he doesn't want to be talked to vibe. Shape and colour theory is so fascinating, and I haven't gone into it a lot either. There's so much more I could talk about and explore in my illustrations. These were very quick, and so if you look up shape and colour theory you can find out a lot more about that. I am hoping to do some classes myself on character design today, be including the shape and colour theory in the very near future, so I'll let you know when those do come out. So like I mentioned before, a couple of the main questions that I got were based around gaining a following to help with your business on Instagram. But like I said, I can just tell you what I've noticed and what's helped me quite recently. So the first one, which is probably one of the biggest ones, is getting involved in things like challenges, and there's certain hashtags like the Meet the Artist or Art versus Artists, but mainly the Draw This in Your Style challenge has really helped a lot of people share their work to more of a following than they can usually get. Not only just joining in and other artists draw this in your style, which can really help, but also creating your own and just getting the people that follow and like your art to get involved with your art and to collaborate with you a little bit. This really helped me. When I first posted a challenge on Instagram, I was so nervous that everybody was just going to ignore it, but it's not something that you can think about. You're just putting something out there, and if nobody wants to get involved, then whatever, you can do the challenge yourself. But it really made a big difference for me, and I couldn't believe the result that I got from it. It was a Draw This in Your Style that I did quite a few months ago now, but it really set the ball rolling for my business, and so appreciative to everybody who got involved in that initial challenge. Another one is getting involved in the comments section. So it's really nice to see artists supporting each other and creating a community where people are willing to help each other and to support each other. A lot of illustrators at the moment are doing these artist support posts, which I really recommend, and it's such a lovely place to go to, where you can comment underneath, either showcasing your profile or asking questions or for help that you usually can't get from anywhere else. And there's a lot of people in those comment sections that are really willing to help you with anything. So definitely go try and find them. There's probably a hashtag for it as well. Another thing I've noticed in a lot of illustrators' work that I follow, creating characters and stories that people that follow your work can really get invested in, really helps to remind people that you're there and to get more notice. I know myself that I love reading a story about a character, and so I think people are very interested in following artists that are telling stories, whether it is an original character that they've created or even their own story for their work. A lot of artists that are really open about their life or their mind through their art really relate to a lot of people, and I know that I like that a lot, and it's nice to read stories that I can relate to. Another one that is mentioned a lot, and I suppose comes across really obvious now, is just posting consistently. It doesn't have to be every day, but I notice if I miss a week or two that it really makes a big difference. And not just posting on your grid, but also on your Instagram story, which is something I really need to work on more. It's just another layer of people getting to know you and being reminded of your art and that you're there. And I'm pretty sure the algorithm probably has something to do with it as well. But yeah, consistent flow of work coming onto your feed just really helps. But I think I'd say out of all that, the main things is getting involved in challenges, contests, hashtags that are to do with art, because it opens up a new lot of people to you that haven't seen your art before, and it's just a really nice way to collaborate with other artists as well. So that's really all that I know. I can't really say for sure how to do this. It's just all about experimenting, exploring different ways to connect with the people that like your work, but also to get your work further afield. I just wouldn't worry about it too much, and I know that it's important if you're really trying to grow your business and you want to go full time, but I think what often brings people to your work is just really showcasing your work and what you're about, and that will really stand you out from the rest. So just on a last point, I just think I'd talk a little about my shading process, which is what I'm just about to do here. I like to keep my shading quite clean cut, but I do go through a couple of steps to get to what I want. I usually use a dark reddy orange colour on a layer above the one that I want to affect. So that would usually be the colour of the character. I always put these layers on multiply, and I do two of them, one that's just shadowing all over, the kind of middle range shadowing, and the second layer over that will be slightly darker where the light won't be hitting as much and just gives a little more depth. And then I'll have a third layer on top of that, which is the same colour, the same multiply, where I use a feathered brush just to add that gradient and that smoothness of transition and just a little more depth to the image. And that's what I usually do for my shading. I don't really highlight very often. I have done a little bit in this because the liquid's very reflective and I wanted to showcase that. But I thought that was just a little insight into how I do that. Maybe I'll try and go in a little more in depth, maybe a step-by-step tutorial in the future. So I think that's about it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Like I said, if you stick around, you'll get to see what the stickers look like that I will be selling of these characters, and I'll have a few extra little stickers to do with tea and coffee and the leaves that are used in the sticker sheet as well. So stay to the end to have a look at that. And again, thank you so much. It means a lot that you're choosing to watch this, and hopefully I'll see you tomorrow.